can we say that there has been an unfolding of our lives in the marked way that it ought to be when we have become partakers of the divine nature? There ought to be a great contrast about us. There ought to be this shining light that the Lord Jesus speaks of. There ought to be this of the salt of the earth, that which is holding back the corruption of the world, and then the light that is shining out in the darkness. Paul spoke of it in writing to the Philippians, the contrast that the Christian is supposed to be in the world round about him. He is to be a light in the midst of the darkness, and he is to be straight in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation. There is to be this great contrast. And yet, I believe if we are honest about it, we have to admit that many times as Christians, we do not have the light shining the way that it ought to, and there isn't the contrast between us and the lost world. We tend to get out of balance. We tend to have distortion, and we tend to have that which obscures the light of the Lord Jesus. I have thought much lately and become increasingly concerned about the possibility in the life of every child of God in the unfolding of his true redeemed personality. It is my conviction that here is one of the great assaults of Satan to keep a person who is saved from unfolding to be what God intended that he ought to be.